Hey Jamie, how's your day going? I've been digging into vibe coding and it's pretty exciting.
Sounds cool. So what exactly is vibe coding?
It's a flow-based development approach. You talk to an AI, describe your feature, and it writes the code.
Kind of like telling Siri to build a web page for you?
Exactly. You give a natural language prompt, for example, create a login form with email and password, and the AI returns a code snippet.
That's nuts. And you can just copy-paste that into your project?
Yep. You run it on the fly and see a working prototype almost instantly.
This feels like rapid prototyping, right?
Totally. You prompt, test, tweak, and prompt again, an iteration loop.
What about debugging?
You just tell the AI, fix the error in line 12, and it suggests corrections.
So it's essentially an AI coding buddy.
Exactly. It even suggests unit tests or docs for you.
I love the sound of that. But is it safe?
You still need to review the output and watch for vulnerabilities.
Got it. So for complex systems, you'd mix AI code with handcrafted logic?
Yes, a hybrid is best. AI does the heavy lifting, you handle the tricky parts.
Which tools support this?
GitHub Copilot, Replit AI, Cursor, each has its own context awareness.
Makes sense. Can non-developers join in?
In a pinch, yes. They describe what they want, and the AI handles the rest.
That really breaks down barriers between roles.
Exactly. Anyone can prototype an idea without knowing syntax.
I'm excited to try it.
Hey Jamie, ready to get our development environment configured so we can start vibe coding like pros tonight?
Absolutely, Alex. I'm excited to dive in and see AI generate my first snippet without writing a single line manually.
First step, install Visual Studio Code, our favorite IDE, and then add the Copilot extension from the marketplace.
With VS Code up and running, I'll grab the GitHub Copilot extension and sign in with my GitHub account credentials.
Great. Once Copilot is active, let's configure our API key environment variable in a secure .env file.
Perfect. I'll open my project folder, create a .env.local file, and paste my key as OpenAI API key equals your token.
Next, we'll install Replit's AI CLI tool globally via npm, so we can run its code generator directly from the terminal.
I'll run npm install -g replit-ai and verify the install by typing replit-ai -- help to see available commands.
Meanwhile, let's configure Cursor by signing up on their website, then generate a Cursor API token for local use.
Good idea. The Cursor dashboard also provides code samples we can import, which will speed up our initial tests.
With all three tools installed, open 3 terminal panels in VS Code and name them Copilot, Replit, and Cursor respectively.
I like it. Now each panel is dedicated to one tool's commands, making our workflow clear and organized.
To wrap up setup, we'll add an .editor config file to ensure consistent indentation, tabs, and encoding across our team.
I'll copy a standard editor config template from GitHub Gist and adjust it for 2-space indentation, like our style guide requires.
Excellent. Next, let's test a simple prompt. Generate a function that adds 2 numbers and returns the result.
Running that on Copilot gives me a neat JavaScript function with appropriate JS.comments. Nice and clean code.
Now try the same prompt in Replit CLI. Notice how it outputs Python by default if you specify the --language Python flag.
Good catch. I love that cross-language support. I'll experiment further with Ruby and Go in the Cursor environment next.
Let's also integrate ESLint and Prettier extensions, so our code style stays consistent no matter which AI generates it.
Installing ESLint, Prettier, and configuring .prettierrc gives our AI snippets immediate code formatting out of the box.
Before we move on, how about setting up a Git branch named vibesetup to keep all environment changes isolated?
Great call. I'll create and switch to that branch now, commit our .env example, and push to remote for safe collaboration.
Now that the basics are set, let's craft effective prompts by adding detailed descriptions and expected function signatures.
For example, I'll ask, write a React component named weathercard that fetches and displays current temperature.
Perfect. Run that on Copilot and tweak the prompt until the output matches our desired UI design mockup.
I see. Specifying use effect hook and prop types in the prompt helps AI produce more robust React code.
Exactly, and when we need server-side logic, we can prompt replit to scaffold an express.js route with middleware.
Love that. I'll try generate an express POST route /login with JWT authentication and error handling.
Notice how the AI includes bcrypt integration and appropriate status codes like 200, 401, and 500.
This setup feels so natural, almost like pair programming with a teammate who never sleeps.
Right? It's a major time saver for boilerplate tasks, letting us focus on unique business logic instead. All right, Jamie, now it's time to build our first vibe-coded app using the Lunchbox Buddy concept as our guide tonight.
Sounds fun. I'm ready to create a meal recommendation app without writing a single loop manually.
Let's start by defining the basic features: fridge ingredient list input, recipe suggestions, and nutritional info display.
Right. So I'll prompt the AI, generate a React component called ingredient list that accepts an array of strings.
Execute that in Copilot and watch it produce a functional UI component with props and state setup automatically.
Nice! It even includes default prop types and simple CSS and JS styling for a neat presentation.
Next, ask the AI to build a fetch utility to call a hypothetical recipe API based on available ingredients.
All right, generate a JavaScript function named fetchRecipes that performs GET requests and handles JSON parsing.
Perfect. Now run that, and you'll see the HTTP request code ready to integrate into your component.
Now I'll prompt for error handling. Add error fallback UI when API returns an error or empty results.
Great call. The AI scaffolds an error boundary pattern and a friendly retry button for better UX.
I love how rapid prototyping feels when AI handles all the mundane code generation for me.
Exactly. And to connect everything, ask the AI to create a new file combining ingredient list and fetch recipes logic.
I prompt, generate a page component Lunchbox Buddy that ties these components with proper hooks and layout.
The AI then scaffolds a page component with use state, use effect, and a basic grid for ingredients and recipes.
We should also request a responsive design so it looks good on mobile and desktop screens.
Yes, ask, add responsive CSS so the grid displays 2 columns on desktop and 1 column on mobile.
Awesome! It adjusts with media queries automatically. Let's also add a loading spinner during API calls.
Prompt, include a spinner component that displays while fetch recipes is pending. It's ready in seconds.
Next, we need to persist user preferences, like dietary restrictions, in local storage.
Right. Generate functions, save preferences, and load preferences using local storage APIs, and you're set.
The AI created both functions and hooked them into state updates automatically. So slick.
Now, for the fun part, ask the AI to simulate fridge items if none are provided for easy demo purposes.
Generate a mock data utility for sample ingredients, and it spits out an array of dummy items beautifully.
With mock data in place, run the app and see a full working prototype of our Lunchbox Buddy.
It looks great. Now let's add a share button so users can tweet or email their recipe results.
Good idea. Generate a share component with a tweet link and email mail to integration.
The AI even handles URL encoding and button styling for me. No need to fiddle with anchors manually.
Now let's ask for basic unit tests. Write jest tests for fetch recipes, including success and error cases.
It outputs comprehensive unit tests covering fetch logic, mocking fetch calls, and response scenarios.
That ensures our app remains stable as we build more features. Testing is crucial even with AI coding.
Absolutely. And we can add end-to-end tests later with Cypress to simulate user flows in the browser.
For now, this demo covers core functionality. Let's commit to Git with a message, add initial Lunchbox Buddy prototype.
I'll push this branch to remote and share the link with our team so they can review the AI-generated code.
Fantastic work. We just built a full prototype by vibe coding in under 30 minutes. Hey Jamie, now that we have basic features, let's talk about crafting precise prompts and troubleshooting AI hiccups.
Absolutely. When AI outputs weird code, our first move is crafting a clear intent at the top of the prompt.
Right. Instead of build login, say create a login form that validates email format and shows error messages.
Adding specific validation rules reduces AI hallucination and makes the output more reliable.
If AI still invents non-existent libraries, instruct it to only use standard packages included in Node.js.
And if code fails to compile, ask the AI to debug the error by explaining the cause and offering a fix.
That's important. Sometimes you need to provide the exact error log snippet for precise assistance.
Also, include example inputs and outputs in your prompt to guide the AI through possible edge cases.
For instance, handle empty ingredient arrays by displaying a friendly message instead of crashing.
Good tip. Explicitly listing edge cases reduces the need for manual error handling later.
When facing random syntax choices, add use two-space indentation, single quotes for strings, and semicolons at line ends.
That enforces our style, preventing AI from mixing tabs and spaces in a messy way.
If the AI loops on the same broken code, clear the session or restart the tool to avoid context drift.
I've seen perfectly good prompts turn bad after too many iterations in one session.
Another trick is asking the AI to write unit tests first, then generate code that satisfies those tests.
Test-driven prompts can yield higher quality code because the AI knows exactly what must pass.
For user-facing apps, request a fallback UI component that shows a friendly error message when API calls fail.
That makes the app more robust and improves user experience during downtime or network issues.
If AI gives you too much explanation in its response, ask it to provide only code with minimal comments.
A concise response keeps our files clean and avoids bloated code files.
We can also chain commands. First write code, then generate documentation for each function.
Splitting tasks reduces prompt length and keeps each response focused on one goal.
When troubleshooting performance, prompt identify slow parts of this function and optimize them.
The AI often suggests using efficient array methods or caching results to reduce runtime.
Good, and if the output still isn't clear, ask for a short explanation of the root cause.
That helps us understand underlying issues instead of just applying Band-Aid fixes.
Finally, keep a personal prompt library of successful examples to reuse and adapt quickly.
Sharing that library with teammates encourages consistency and reduces repeated experimentation.
Exactly. Mastering prompts and troubleshooting makes vibe coding feel like a true team sport. You know, Jamie, I've been thinking about how vibe coding will completely reshape how software development unfolds in the next decade.
It really feels like the tip of the iceberg, with only basic apps scratch the surface of what AI can achieve.
Most companies will soon democratize programming, letting non-developers prototype ideas without even installing an IDE.
I love that. It could break down silos and let marketing or design teams directly craft simple tools.
In the future, we might just speak features in meetings and have AI generate MPVS on the spot.
Imagine investors hearing a concept described verbally and seeing a live app prototype emerge in minutes.
That is a true game changer for lean startups and agile innovators racing to stay competitive globally.
But we'll still need developers to wear many hats, handling architecture, security, and complex integrations.
Absolutely. Vibe coding won't replace experts, but let them focus on strategic tasks rather than boilerplate.
It's almost like telling your AI assistant, design the UI while you tackle high-level system planning.
And we'll see AI-driven collaboration, where the team discusses features and AI mediates code merges live.
That could make code reviews more dynamic, with AI suggesting improvements while team members chat.
It will also accelerate continuous deployment as AI generates test suites, documentation, and release notes.
Those automation streams will free developers from tedious chores so they can innovate faster.
Of course, we must address security concerns because AI-generated code can introduce vulnerabilities or license issues.
We'll need robust auditing tools that scan AI outputs in real time and flag risky patterns automatically.
Companies will build specialized AI models trained on secure in-house code bases to ensure compliance.
And in regulated sectors like finance or healthcare, AI prompts will require strict governance and approval layers.
Beyond simple apps, advanced AI could assist with system optimization, infrastructure as code, and performance tuning.
Who knows? We might soon tell AI to scale microservices based on real-time traffic data automatically.
In a nutshell, vibe coding could make software development feel as intuitive as brainstorming on a whiteboard.
It's exciting to think that coding skills will be less about syntax and more about problem framing.
Exactly. Framing clear, concise prompts will become the primary developer skill in this new era.
I wonder how education will adapt, teaching students to think in prompts instead of traditional algorithms.
We might see new certifications for prompt engineers, specializing in crafting AI instructions for software solutions.
And UI/UX designers will evolve to include conversational design, shaping prompts that reflect user intent.
That's right, design and development will blur together as teams participate in shared AI dialogues.
Despite the hype, we shouldn't lose sight of human creativity, which remains at the heart of impactful innovation.
Definitely. Vibe coding is a tool that amplifies human ideas, not a replacement for human ingenuity.
So our job will shift to overseeing AI output, injecting domain knowledge, and ensuring ethical use.
And as AI evolves, we'll discover new paradigms beyond vibe coding that further transform the creative process.
For now, let's embrace this influx of possibilities and stay ahead of the curve in our own projects.
Agreed, the future of vibe coding is bright and teeming with opportunities for every curious mind.